Video games are a form of entertainment just like reading, writing, listening to music, or painting, but there are people out there who constantly target our industry because they don't understand why so many people find so much enjoyment out of this hobby. And right now, James Lindsay is getting absolutely wrecked on social media for attacking games. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, video games have always been seen as an easy target from the left, from the right. There are always going to be people who are going to say, maybe video games are the cause for all our problems, racism, sexism, bigotry, violence, but those claims are complete and utter bullshit. There have been so many studies out there that have proved the contrary, but these people plug their ears and pretend not to know because it doesn't suit the narrative they are trying to push. And right now, James Lindsay is going on about how when you reach a certain age, you should put video games aside as if you're not allowed to enjoy anything in life, and he's getting wrecked for it, and rightfully so. So it all started with this thread, and it talks about video games. Makes me wonder if Lindsay has ever played video games. On the rails is not a compliment. It's also worth asking, is someone ruled by a king but taxed a maximum of 10% of his income with a minimum of regulation inhibiting his ability to run a business more or less free than someone in a democracy taxed 50% of his income who can only access the services provided by the state as bureaucrats see fit to ration them? I'd love to see a democracy in our day and age that could provide the former without a king, but give me a modern example that isn't a city-state. I don't want kings or aristocracy, although we realistically have them in democracies too, just by a different name. But I also will insist that talking about how to get that to the greater freedom shouldn't be policed via smears and misrepresentation. And he actually responded to this by saying, I'm 46 years old. I stopped playing video games when I was 25. Then I finished a PhD. When I was a child, I spoke as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. It's so funny that people like this will say, video games are a childish medium when there's Call of Duties out there. There are Expedition 33s out there. There are Dark Souls out there. We are talking about a guy who goes around swinging a sword and LARPing as a knight. It's perfectly fine if you enjoy that hobby. It's perfectly fine if you don't enjoy video games, but to whittle it down to, oh, it's a childish pastime is absolutely mind-boggling. Oh, well, a child finger paints, so that means you're not allowed to look at paintings anymore. You're not allowed to go to a museum and look at paintings because, oh man, that's just kind of childish. Oh, you're not allowed to listen to music because there's music in Coco Melon. Oh, you're not allowed to read a book because you have read Dr. Seuss when you were a kid. It, of course, is such a dumb argument, but these people don't see the problem, and I don't care what side of the political aisle you are on. If you have a dumb take, I'm going to call you out for it, and that's what I'll do here. James Lindsay is very good at debating. He is very good at articulating. He has a lot of good lectures out there, but sometimes he has stances like this that make me wonder why people would ever support him going forward. And I know that there are a lot of individuals out there who say, video games are just for children, but they don't understand how video games are a form of art, just like music and painting and books. And it's just so sad that people like this could win more gamers to their side and to their cause, but instead they decide to go on social media, make statements like this, and then get absolutely ratioed for them. He has 544,000 followers. Only 1.1k people actually support this stance. And by the way, this entire quote is a really good one from C.S. Lewis, but he's not putting the whole entire thing here, which I think is so freaking funny. Here is a screenshot by Disparu. Critics who treat adult as a term of approval instead of as merely a descriptive term cannot be adult themselves. To be concerned about being grown up, to admire the grown up because it is grown up, to blush at the suspicion of being childish, these things are the marks of childhood and adolescence. And in childhood and adolescence, they are, in moderation, healthy symptoms. Young things ought to want to grow, but to carry on into middle life or even into early manhood, this concern about being adult is a mark of really arrested development. When I was 10, I read fairy tales in secret and would have been ashamed if I had been found doing so. Now that I am 50, I read them openly. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childness and the desire to be very grown up. What an absolutely phenomenal quote. But he didn't show the entire thing, which looks even worse for him. Not only does he have this terrible opinion, but then he is misrepresenting another person's words to try to use part of a quote to, I don't know, I guess just own the chud gamers, though he is getting wrecked right now, and rightfully so. Basically, everybody is ratioing him at this point. Sniping at other people for what they enjoy is the most childish thing out there. It's time to put away the childish things, dude. And he did roll laughing emojis. I used that verse to explain X to an IRL friend the other day, but as usual, people are missing the point. Of course, Benjamin likes his engagement style. They truly all grift off of you. And he said that I'm an important figure for many careers in a series of cottage industries dedicated to not liking me. Debating strangers on social media is 10 times more childish than playing a video game. 46 is pretty young to have opinions that sound more like they belong to an 86-year-old. Nobody actually thinks video games are just for children anymore, Grandpa. You don't get any manliness points. I don't really care, Margaret. I'm 56 years old. I retired from developing video games after 25 years in the industry. 2 of the games I worked on were billion-dollar titles with millions of fans, Disney Infinity and Hogwarts Legacy. Sometimes I like to think of all the stories, smiles, and moments of joy we brought into the world. In aggregate, we invoke many lifetimes worth of happiness for those players. Wasn't a bad gig, really. If your interests strayed from video games, fair enough. Thinking that somehow makes you superior than others is some serious pompous asshat behavior. In trying to label others childish, you've only labeled yourself as a self-important douche. I know I had also made a post on this, and I said, stop wasting time reading. Stop wasting time looking at paintings. Stop listening to music. Stop watching shows and movies. Stop wasting time enjoying life. See how idiotic that sounds? Video games are a form of entertainment just like movies, shows, books, etc. And people are memeing, right? Saying, now, Vara, don't you know life is nothing but work and misery? But it's like that's his opinion, and that is so pathetic. And I've talked so many times on this channel about all the positive effects that video games have on people, whether they are adults, whether they are children. Like this, video gaming may be associated with better cognitive performance in children. That sounds pretty fucking phenomenal to me. You have video games and mental health, a surprising ally, because it gives you a way to express yourself and to vent sometimes your frustrations, find a sense of accomplishment and achievement, and find joy in simple things in life. Video games are good for you. Groundbreaking study challenges negative stereotypes, and I mean, the lists go on and on. I could show dozens upon dozens of examples of this being the case, but it's always sad when somebody goes on social media and makes themselves look like an absolute idiot with their brain dead takes, and that is exactly what is happening with James Lindsay right now. Basically, everybody is ratioing him. He's being pointed and laughed at and ruthlessly mocked, and really, he deserves it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.